Hey guys, happy Tuesday. It's so funny because let me grab my book because I want to read something to you from the Medicine Cards book. It's one of those oracle decks, you guys, like it's so legit. If you know, when a tarot or an oracle comes with like an amazing book, you love it. And it's funny because you can glean so much from even just the book. I find with this is Jamie Sam's David Carson. It's kind of an OG Oracle deck, but when I have like a lot of synchronicities of animal spirits and nature, I always come back to this book, even like if I'm not pulling cards. So I had set an intention to read something to you. But I was going to say, it's just funny because I have a lot of work to do, and I do it with gratitude and contentment. I'm contentedly busy. I love to create and I love to share. I just had a weekend event. It was called April Activations, and I shared a lot of lovely things. And if you were out there and you have something coming to you, I'm so excited. Hold on one second. Let me grab something. So this is the rune spirit of Dagaz, which is day. This is just one of the examples of one of the, what I would call a medium pillar that I offered. Super excited about all the energy. I'm not going to show everything here. It's funny because I'm reaching for my, I did a balm that was like a chamomile and rose and lots of delicious goodness. This was one of my infusions. I love my balms too, and I did this April's energy was big dandelion energy. And so I had oil infusions that I will like grid. I will set out into the sun. I will sound bathe, and I work these, my base oil that I use in my balms, that I use in my essential oil. Sometimes I'll make like misting sprays and drops of that base oil. It's usually sweet almond. Everything's organic, of course, doesn't need to be said, but that'll be the base of the infusion. Like, this is really a tangent now, but hey, we're still in Aries season, so it's the sign of all the tangents. But what I'll do is I'll just really have one plant spirit, plant ally and energy that will speak to me in particular as I'm using my balm. I'm putting it on my pulse points. I like to put it over my heart, whichever one calls to me for the day. On my hands. I have tattoos on my hands, so I'll actually rub it on but our hands are like our divine sacred wands, you know what I mean, that are attached to our body. So I love to put the balms. I mean, it's very skin nourishing anyway, cocoa butters, shea butters, lovely oils like rose hips and different whatever I'm working with in that infusion. But oh my gosh, I can't remember January, but I know February was rose. So base infusions were all just beautiful rose. And then we did the Bee Calm Balm, which was like focused on rose chamomile combination. And then we worked with lavender and wisteria. So I love it. And I will kind of take a base like that and it will extend into the oil blends. It will extend into the misting sprays, which is like a combo of witch hazel, lovely hydrosols, the main base, energetically infused oil, essential oils, all that good stuff. So I love that. And yeah, dandelion was the focus kind of April activation. So I'll still be using that base infused sun charged gridded oil and some other offerings that I'll be doing at another event at the end of the month. So we went on a whole sidebar because I picked up my balm, but I love to share with you guys like how I use my own, of course, and I love to share with you. I also, another one that I keep close by was the original rose one, and it was just very simple, like rose hips, cocoa butter, shea butter. It's delicious. They all are lovely for your skin, but it's like an energetic way to use the same energy as opposed to an oil or spray. And it's delicious. It's lovely for your skin. There's nothing that isn't just delicious and wonderful and healthy for your skin. So, I just today, we're shipping the things. We have readings book. It's the end of Aries season. We're coming up on a new moon and a solar hybrid eclipse. So, I didn't plan on really chit chatting and sitting down for like another day or two, but such as it is, I make my agreements to spirit and my higher self and my guides, and reading and channeling. Sometimes you have these days and it's like the message is just on your heart and you just keep seeing these repeated synchronicities. And I have people that mentor me or people that I listen to consistently or follow, and you see the breadcrumbs, you know what I'm saying, from spirit, and you're hearing it, and then you get then urged by your higher self and your guides, hey, you need to sit down and chat with the people. So here we are. And I hope you're doing okay. I want to read an excerpt from an astrologer that I follow because I like the way that she explains this this Aries and solar eclipse that is going to carry us into eclipse season. It's going to close the end of Aries season. It's going to also carry us into Mercury retrograde, carry us into the season of eclipse, right? So she says, and I've said some of these things, I've reiterated, but I just liked the way that she explains it all. So I'm going to read it to you directly. The second new moon in Aries and solar eclipse occurs early Thursday morning, April 20th. Yes, it may be April 19th if you're on, I think, like Pacific time. So between the 19th and the 20th, right? A second new moon in the same astrological sign, we've talked about this, is called a black moon. This is a rare eclipse because it is a hybrid eclipse. Hybrid eclipses will appear total or annular pending your location on Earth. So they have a hybrid or mutable nature. In a Saros cycle of eclipses, the rare hybrids come in when the series is transitioning from annular to total. Okay, I know that's a lot of like astronomy and astrology words, but if you understand that it's rare and if you understand that it's hybrid, because it is kind of in between two different things, it's enough. That's all you need to know. Also, this is very interesting. I love that she mentions this. This is the third and final hybrid eclipse. The first two were on March 29th, 1987, the year of the harmonic convergence, and April 8th, 2005. It was very interesting, Spirit is saying if you could regress back and think of life cycles through those phases. For me, when I first read this a couple days ago, it was a great journal prompt. It was kind of I wouldn't say past life regression, but maybe past cycles in this life regression, especially when you're thinking about karmic cycles closing, life cycles closing, lessons that you've learned in Earth School, right? Taking it back to 1985, taking it back to 2005. If you were alive in 1985, I said 1985, but I meant 1987. But you get the point. There could be some interesting reflective work you could do with that. Anyway, it goes on to say, it is interesting to see they have all been in Aries. Don't miss that. After this eclipse, the next one in this series will be a total solar eclipse in Taurus in 2041. Of the 224 solar eclipses in the 21st century, only 7 of them are hybrid. Dude, you see what I'm saying? Okay, listen. You got 224 solar eclipses in the 21st century. And we're not even going to crack into the fact that we've shifted from the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius and the impactual energetics of that. But listen, 224 solar eclipses, right? In the 21st century, only 7 of them are hybrid. And this hybrid eclipse is the longest hybrid eclipse in the whole series of the 7. So when you hear everybody say, oh, hybrid solar eclipse, hybrids, okay, because this is why I think it's important. This is why I chose to read this little snippet. Sometimes, we people in the community like to kind of hype, and I ain't mad at it. I mean, hype what you want to, hype up a Monday, hype up your afternoon. Hype is not bad. Like, by all means, make every Monday is magical. Every full moon is the full moon to beat all full moon. I love that for you, for us. But what I'm saying is sometimes, if you can break down your understanding, this is one of those, it's kind of like, what's an example? The blood moon. You know what I mean? Watch this and you'll notice there's the blood moon it's the crazy alignment of and then, sometimes in your wise, more understanding, more experienced way, you're like, oh, sweetie, we have a blood moon every year. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about? But when I tell you that this is a rare eclipse, it is a rare hybrid eclipse, it's legit as fuck. I mean, sorry, it is very legit. Okay, and again, for some people this will be happening tomorrow, but we're thinking 19 shifting into the 20th, because this is also our new moon in Aries window as well. So when I can tell you we are so today, today's the 18th. I personally observed kind of like a banishing black moon releasing. It's like a banishing dark moon. And for me, when the new moon cycle starts to tick in legitimately, for me, it's kind of a different energy then. Some people view that differently. It's just my own personal practice. Follow your own intuition. It is your highest and best guide first and foremost. So I feel like tonight is really black moon. I'm sorry. Let's not use that term because that's the new moon. I would say it is really your dark moon work of all the dark moon work, child, if you gonna banish it, banish it. You know what I mean? Man, in your house, in your energy field. And some of us, you may have felt, we have spring cleaning and we've had different energies, and you may have already been doing some of this feeling of work since the full moon, or maybe even since really the spring equinox or a little bit before, because naturally as our bodies, our energetics wish that it were more potent, but we'll take it one day at a time, right? We understand Gaia's wheel of the year, and so we feel the need to cleanse, to make room for new. So we're doing this purging. You get into your spring cleaning mode, you cycle through the different areas, and I've got spring break this week. They have spring, but it's kind of a vibe, you know what I mean? Between the end of March going into April, everyone's kind of having spring breaks. They are spring cleaning, and so you may have felt a subtle uptick of this energy. Whoa, dude, some big renewal, I mean, we've been amping up towards this energy since the spring equinox. I mean, my goodness, we came into Aries season, the newborn baby on the zodiac wheel, and it was like, welcome to Aries season with a side of Aries, also your entree in Aries, also the dessert is in Aries. Like, we had so much Aries energy. So rightfully so, we are going to end the Aries season with a bang. And to call it amped up energy is like an immense understatement, right? I read a quote the other day that said something like, eclipses are new moons on steroids. And I vibe with that, because what you want to do is, it's like, if you wrote on a piece of paper the biggest intentions you could ever have and you lit them on fire into the universe, to call in your highest timeline, this would be the fire you'd want to stoke under that. And yes, we should be that excited every new moon. But again, when I tell you it's rare, why I'm saying astronomy, astrology, scientifically, mathematically, historically, she's rare. You know what I mean? So very fascinating, very interesting, we call this, oh shoot, it's the 29th degree, and I've got a moon calendar in my desk, but I'm not going to pull it out right now. The 29th degree is what this will be occurring in, and we call this the karmic completion degree. And it's the destiny. It's the biggest peak epitome of karmic completion of a lot of our evolution, of a lot of our it is not time to hold back no more. If you ain't gonna be that, don't be that. If you ain't gonna say that, if you don't want to work there, if you don't want to be with them, if you do not want to live in the avatar, in the expression of your reality, in the timeline you're in right now, that doesn't mean you wake up the next day after you go through this hybrid eclipse energy and you're like, Dorothy clicking her heels twice and then boom, she's there. No. But I promise you, excuse me, I promise you that if you call it into being and set your intentions and then you match your actions beside that, as best you can, we're not perfect, you will see dramatic results. And we've been talking a lot about this energetics of sitting at the karmic table, karmic inheritance, passing hands. Man, from the 5D all the way down to the 3D. And of course, mind you, we're about to shift in Taurus, Mercury retrograde in Taurus. We're not going to branch off into that today, but we are bringing the inheritance that we agree with our spirits, our highest guides, and, the universe's source energy, your higher self. It's some big old, man, I'm really tired of this shit. Bring it on into me. And the universe is going to be like, all right, say no, say less. You know what I mean? So this is a big amped up energy. It is a time to take a stand, for what you believe, for your highest truth, letting go of relationships and things that are just not supportive of your evolution. They're just not. I don't know, Spirit is saying they're just not. The karmic completion degree is just like, man, this huge thing, and I know, and your ancestors know, and we all know, this huge thing needs to be completed, needs to be gone, it needs to be uncorded, it needs to be removed, whatever. And this may be manifesting different for everyone on as we're all on different paths, our timelines, our evolution, our healing journey, our shadow work, these things are all unfolding differently for us. So these completion points may look very different for some people. For some people it's like, you know what, I'm going to do the move because I'm tired of talking about the move. I'm going to buy the land. You know what? No, because I'm going to leave that relationship. I'm not going to go back to it anymore. You know what? I'm tired of pretending like I believe X, Y, and Z, and I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm tired of pretending like I don't want to manifest this creative thing. I'm not. Do you get what I'm saying? This may look very different I know that it will look very different for everyone. And for some of us too as well, it's going to be dependent upon the preparatory work that you've been doing all along. Your spiritual hygiene, your changing your habits, changing your the things that I always talk about all the time. It's going to depend on, that's like you're getting ready to pass the inheritance down to the kid. Let's say for shits and giggles, it's a business, right? You're going to look at both kids and you're going to be like, you have not studied a damn lick. And I gave you all the books. You've been watching me do this your whole life since you were a child. You knew it was going to come time to step up and receive your inheritance. Now you got child B over here. And they're chomping at the bit. They're like, Dad, Mom, every book. I was always there. And I'm so ready. I'm so ready. You know what I'm saying? Who would you pass the inheritance on to? You can't. It's an inheritance. It impacts your whole family. Let's back it up and broaden it out. Age of Aquarius, right? Even your inheritance, be it spiritually, emotionally, or tangibly. And however, Jupiter in Aries, Jupiter will stay in Aries until May. So we're going to see these things ripple out over time. It's just like, well, shoot, Aries season is over. I missed the butt. You know what I mean? It's not like that. This type of rarity of a hybrid solar eclipse, this eclipse window we're going into, these eclipses ripple out, eclipse seasons ripple out into the whole ass year and then beyond sometimes. But this one, because of the amplification of how powerful it is, okay, it has way more longevity in its energetic effects and its evolution power. You know what I'm saying? So how we expand on what we're given, you know what I mean? It's going to be up to us, and it's accordance to our path. But what I was saying is, like, if you were passing on that inheritance, you say son or daughter, right? My child, let's say. You don't understand what I'm giving you impacts not just you and your children, but their grandchildren and then their grandchildren. Also, no, it's very important what you do with this land, what you do with this inheritance, what you do with this gift, whatever it is, you know. It can be so many things. You've got to understand that I have to pass it on to the one who's ready, because it's got to be, what's a good word, stewarded well. Now is not a time, especially with Mercury going in retrograde in Taurus. Now is not a time. Now, ooh, Spirit said, say it again. We weren't going to tangent on this today, but Spirit says, say it again. Mercury going in retrograde right now? Dude, I think literally on the same day as this rarity of a hybrid eclipse is moving into place. New moon in Aries is moving into place. Eclipse season is opening. Mercury going into retrograde in Taurus is not a word to the wise. Not a time to miss the details, to not be wise on tangible money, inheritance, on what you do with what you have, etc., etc., etc. So even more so, the whole metaphor of a family passing down the inheritance to who's ready to receive it, right? So, oh my goodness. It's just, I'm just looking at this chart though, and it's so packed. I mean, the Sun Moon conjunction in Aries is going to make a conjunction to Jupiter and Aries. That's even more fire. Is there's so much activation points. You know, Aries loves some chaos and discord, and oh man, there's so much, you know. It's like kick-ass energy, but what are you really going to do with it? It's going to be really important this next week to be well grounded and in your alignment of I fucking know myself. And if you pass me that quiver of, you know, flaming arrows, I'll tell you I'm not going to miss a mark. I swear I won't. Just pass it to me. Just pass it to me. You know what I'm saying? This we don't want to take this energy and pass a flaming quiver of arrows to someone who's full of chaos and wants to manifest and does not understand the wisdom which that abundance really is, and does not understand energetics, and does not, if we shoot a quiver of arrows of this much fire and divine destiny and amplification of energy from places of woundedness, from places of greed, from places of selfishness, from places of lack of shadow work to glean wisdom, there's going to be a lot of shit that may be on fire, and is going to be on fire anyway, but we don't want to add chaos on top of that which we can't already control. You know what I'm saying? So be wise with the energy this week. You know, Mars is ruling this lunation, and Mars is in Cancer, and it can be very empowering divine feminine energy with Mars in Cancer, but it is tough, you know, because Mars wants to kind of, well, I don't want to back down, you know, but then should I just bury my head in the sand? And so that's a tough balance. You know, and then Mars in Cancer, oh my goodness, you have Cancer is such a deep family dynamic, family ancestral karma, you know, how you relate, how you're energetically and spiritually connected through the wounds, through the, what do you inherit from your actual 3D family? And are you still going to be courted and attached to that? So that's maybe definitely a word or a thought for someone. And I think it's interesting that we're talking about this energy because when we're shifting into just this window that is so power packed with so much energy, with so much activation, with so much karmic completion, it's just natural that things want to hang on to stuff they can no longer have. You know, when you drain the swamp, what's going to happen? All the monsters hiding in the mud are going to scream. They don't want to be exposed to the light, and we've hit on that in other videos too. So I think it's interesting because crow spirit, crow energy, we could tell and share and enjoy lots of different, what would you say, maybe Nordic, Celtic stories. There's so many different stories, Native American, Indigenous, stories related around the animal spirit of the crow. But crow has just been in the environment. Crow has come up. I can't even explain to you the trail, of breadcrumbs related to crow spirit. And I'm going to share something straight up with you before I read this, because I choose what we dwell on and what I speak on. And because, we are ultimately spelling. And if we dwell and dwell and dwell and speak on certain things and da 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 with the cards and the messages. Now, you have an awareness. You do your own shadow work, as do I on my own path. And we do need to have an awareness of certain things. But I'm not always going to sit here and pitch storylines on these things and just feed them energy to drool on. You know what I'm saying? That's not my style. I don't enjoy doing that. And you know me, and you know that I'm not going to do that. But I will tell you this now. Look, when it comes to family, when it comes to relationships, because mind you, this is an axis as well between what opposes Aries is Libra, and Libra is about balance and harmony and relationships, all these things. We had our full moon in Libra, and I could go on, but Spirit and your ancestors just want you to understand, when you walk through a portal like this, everyone can't go with you. They just can't. They can't. And we have to make choices. And the choices we make let the universe, our higher self, our ancestors and guides know what, we speak of higher timelines. We speak of karmic completion. We speak of inheritance. It's going to be a signal to let Spirit know, let your guides and ancestors know, yeah, I don't think she's ready to inherit it, and that's unfortunate. So be mindful of that. And, just be mindful of energies, attachments, ancestral cords, karmic things, and et cetera, that are very, very stubborn, and they just don't want to let go. Because, if there is an unhealed vampiric nature of an energy cord, and whether it's a family member, whether it's a past karmic situation, and that don't have to just be romantic. That can be a friend. That can be, I'm not going to make the list. You get it. I'm saying energetic, emotional, spiritual, that it's got to be cleared out. So just have an awareness that when we walk through very high frequential portals and we shift, and we are shifting, it's huge, it's big, it's beautiful, I love it for us. We have to be mindful that things that cannot access us anymore are fucking angry about it, and we ain't heard the last of it. You know what I mean? Because you establish energetic boundaries, you're doing your healing, you are upward, onwards, forwards, you are growing, you are evolving as you should be. Love that for you. Okay, everybody's not going to be with it. Because now you can't be manipulated. Now you can't be used. Now you can't be harvested. Oh, shoot. You mean we can't attach to your wounds anymore? We can't bleed you dry from certain... it makes me think of, in my own personal tarot journal, I drew the Nine of Swords, and I was doing this whole reading. I love to dip down rabbit holes about the tarot cards, right? Excuse me. And I was reading about the... It is a different depiction of the card, and it had to do with the swords and why they were dripping blood, and it was talking about bloodletting and that practice, which is thousands of years old, and just energetic vampirism and, things going on in the astral and the draining of blood. And the very interesting thing about the Nine of Swords, you guys, was like... Bloodletting was so healing because the more blood you lost, okay, this isn't a control dynamic. Don't get wild with it. Calm down. The more blood that you lost, it triggers all of these things like stem cells and bone marrow. It triggers all these things to regenerate new. You know, the universe loves a good void. It's a vacuum. It wants to fill it with new and refreshed. And so to a certain degree, it was necessary and it was painful, but it was necessary to go through the bloodletting phase. This is what I was journaling about. And so that we could be renewed from that experience. But, you know, it's kind of that woe unto thee. If you've already been through bloodletting, if you learned your lesson and you went through that school and those lessons in earth class and you got the notes, you may have the t-shirt, you might have a souvenir mug. We're not going back to bloodletting, because then you're willingly advocating to certain attachments, to certain people, to certain circumstances. And it's not the time to do that, because in an energetic portal like this, it will be the universe. Your guides are saying, we know that you know now. And if you are going to continue to feed the beeline, you're telling us exactly what you want. So, you know, be careful what you stand in agreement with continually after this eclipse portal. Okay? All right. I'm not going to go on preaching mode. I started to shuffle the cards. You know, I am going to read Crow Medicine. You know what? No, hold on. Spirit said, calm down. I'm going to read Crow Medicine before we do anything else, because I felt like it was resonant with this. All right, page 133. Listen, I'm going to tell you, if you've got Earth Magic Oracle by Stephen D. Farmer, if you've got Sacred Geometry and you've got these animal medicine cards, that's all you need. You good. Okay. So it says, Crow, are you cawing so I may know the secrets of balance within my soul? Or are you sending your sacred caw just to remind me of universal laws? Let's read it. Crow is the law. There is a medicine story that tells of Crow's fascination with her own shadow. She kept... Ooh, it's so appropriate. Y'all, what card is sticking to the table? How we gonna take it? Listen, I'm sorry. Stay focused. She kept looking at it, scratching it, pecking at it, until her shadow woke up and became alive. Then Crow's shadow ate her. Crow is dead Crow now. Dead Crow is the left-handed guardian. If you look deeply into Crow's eye, you will have found the gateway to the supernatural. Crow knows the unknowable mysteries of creation and is the keeper of all sacred law. Since Crow is the keeper of sacred law, Crow can bend the laws of the physical universe and shape shift. This ability is rare and unique. Few adepts exist in today's world, and even fewer still have mastered Crow's art of shape-shifting. This art includes doubling, or being in two places at one time consciously, taking on another physical form, and becoming the fly on the wall to observe what is happening from far away. Ooh, it's just the energy. I'm just going to put a chunk of black tourmaline there. What else we got? We got this golden sheen obsidian with my my spirit guides, my owl there. We're going to, you know, just to cover our bases. All right. The Europeans that came to Turtle Island were named the Boat People by Slow Turtle. Even with the knowledge of alchemy possessed by certain boat people, none had ever seen the powerful shape-shifting of shamans who utilized Crow medicine. Many boat people were frightened by what appeared to be animals coming into their camps or dwellings to discern their medicine. Crow medicine people are masters of illusion. All sacred texts are under the protection of Crow. Creator's Book of Laws or Book of Seals is bound in crow feathers. Crow feathers tell of spirit made flesh. Crow is also the protector of the Ogala, or ancient records. The sacred law belts are the wampum belts beaded by native women long before. I'm going to get some water. Ooh, throat chakra, don't even want to read it. We're going to read it anyway. Beaded by native women long before the boat people or Europeans came to this continent, certain knowledge of the Great Spirit's laws were kept in black lodges, the lodges of women. The law which states that all things are born of women is signified by crow. Children are taught to behave according to the rules of a particular culture. Most Orthodox religious systems create a mandate concerning acceptable behavior within the context of worldly affairs. Do this and so, and you will go to heaven. Do thus and so, and you will go to hell. Excuse me. Different formulas for salvation are demanded by each true faith. Human law is not the same as sacred law. More so than any other medicine, Crow sees that the physical world the physical world and even the spiritual world, as humanity interprets them, are an illusion. There are billions of worlds. There are an infinitude of creations. Great Spirit is within all. If an individual obeys Crow's perfect laws as given by the Creator, then at death he or she dies a good medicine death, going on to the next incarnation with a clear memory of his or her past. Crow is an omen of change. Crow lives in the void and has no sense of time. The ancient chiefs tell us that Crow sees simultaneously the three fates, past, present, and future. Crow merges light and darkness, seeing both inner and outer reality. If Crow medicine appears, you must pause and reflect on how you see the laws of Great Spirit in relation to the laws of humanity. Crow medicine signifies a first-hand knowledge of a higher order of right and wrong than that is indicated by the laws created in human culture. With Crow medicine, you speak in a powerful voice when addressing issues that for you seem out of harmony, out of balance, out of whack, or unjust. Remember that Crow looks at the world first with one eye and then the other, cross-eyed. In the Mayan culture, the cross-eyed had the privilege and duty of looking into the future. You must put aside your fear of being a voice in the wilderness and call the shots as you see them. As you learn to allow your personal integrity to be your guide, and listen, I know I would love to tell you, once you get past a certain point and knowing yourself and evolving and healing and studying and growing, it gets better. It doesn't. It's hard. It's tough because you are going an extremely less taken path. You know what I'm saying? It is really hard because, and you may find this relatable. Spirit is having me share this, that it's hard. Sometimes you're just like, man, I just want to chill with people. I want to be with a tribe. I want to blah, 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 blah. But we can't sacrifice our alignment, and we have to trust that the people that need to come in will come in, and also that we're not alone walking this path. And that Spirit, our ancestors, our guides are with us. Earth and nature is with us. Our creative inspiration, our willpower, all these things, they are with us. The animals are with us. And there's different touch points we have. And we're not alone. And we have each other in this community. I know it's tough. It's tough sometimes in your own community, in your own neighborhood, in your own state, in your own area. Hey, I'm hollering at you from the Southern Bible Belt. I mean, you can only imagine. I don't even know who dropped me off in a cornfield here. Like, was it a ship? Where? I want to go home. No, I don't. You know what? No, I'm perfectly fine serving my contracts that I made in this go round. But I'm just saying, I know it's tough. You know what I mean? But if everybody, sacrificed some shit every time shit got tough, what would we ever accomplish? And what would be like the reward, the point, the wisdom? No, I'm not saying we need to be shut-ins, and, we part of that is going out, meeting people, doing the things, and it's great. But you get what I'm saying? It's not, it's going to be a path where a lot of times you're in solitude, because you guard your energy, because you choose your relationships carefully, because you are healing and you're growing and you're evolving. Yeah? All right. As you learn to allow your personal integrity to be your guide, your sense of feeling alone will vanish. Ooh, right on time. Your personal will can then emerge so that you will stand in your truth. The prime path of true crow people says to be mindful of your opinions and your actions. Be willing to walk your talk, speak your truth, know your life's mission, and balance past, present, and future in the now. What was right behind us? Temperance coming through with wings as we speak about our winged friend. Yes. Be willing to walk your talk, speak your truth, know your life's mission, balance the past, the present, and the future in the now. Okay? This is an act of transmutation, the way that this water is being poured back and forth and refined and purified. And the next line in this book says, shape shift the old reality and become your future self. Allow the bending of physical laws to aid in creating the shape-shifted world of peace. Yes. I knew Crow was going to come through, and I love to see, what is that? The Hangman. You know what? Yeah. I love to see the Hangman. I think we can understand the Temperance card. And those flowers remind me so much of the forsythias and all these beautiful little gold blooms that I've been working with. And these flowers, so, the gold hair, the gold cups, the gold sun, the gold flowers. It's been so much solar activation energy. It's been, I've literally just been grid working and walking and with the earth and the spirits and the plants, and they've been all these beautiful golden buds. So I love that. And the Hangman is to me is really about release of guilt. The hybrid rare solar eclipse and the new moon in Aries. You know, again, I reiterated in the beginning of the video, the rarity, and that's astronomy, that's astrology, that's science. It's not, just some big, what we like to call, pop selling marketing words, because that happens sometimes, let's be real. Sometimes you get your shit turned all the way upside down, and it is a moment of clarity, and it really gives you perspective. But the Hanged Man is really about a huge shift in understanding what you can step away from. It's a chosen pause, which I think is interesting because we are moving into Mercury retrograde in Taurus. It's kind of funny because if you turn him upside down, he looks like he's standing on a tree. Right side up, would it be technically? Shit. I mean, I don't. If you turn him this way, it would look like he's standing on a tree. Tree branch, leaves in the background. He's chilling. He's getting real enlightened. Right? Mercury retrograde in Taurus. Boom. I love it. So honestly, the intention was to just check in and say, how we feeling before this new moon, before this hybrid solar eclipse, or rolling on up to eclipse season. How are we doing? How are we feeling? And then I really just wanted to share with you the Nine of Swords and the Crow medicine. So I'm going to love you and leave you. And I hope you have a wonderful Tuesday. Just stay grounded. You know what I mean? What is it? Keep it simple, stupid. Kiss. We keep it real simple. It's going to be all right. But listen, on a real note, though, for real, and I say this from my heart because I'm dealing with things in my own energy over here. No, you are not going to resurface again. No, we are not doing this dance again. No, you cannot reattach. No, you cannot feed. No, I said no. These are my boundaries. I'm not going back into the same cycles over and over and over. I'm not. And I hope you respect yourself, and I hope you honor yourself as a divine sovereign being enough to understand that you have the right to move onward, to move forward, to evolve. Don't sacrifice that. Let me tell you something else Spirit is just saying. Don't sacrifice that and call it something like empathy. Don't sacrifice. Look, it's a fine line between empathy and codependency, and I don't want to do that in this video, but I feel like you're wise enough to understand. We can be empathetic and we can love and wish people the best and hope for the best for them and still do that shit from a distance, you know? Oh, I love that for you. I love to see that life change for you. No, it's actually, I'm just going to stay over here. You know, I got some things going on. I got some projects. I got some goals. Pretty pumped up about 2023. It's a 7th year. You know, I got my chariot. I got plans. I even have plans that are extending on the next couple years, and I just don't think it's not going to be good for us to ride together right now. But I'm glad to see what you're doing. That's great for you. I love that for you. That's how we can do that. You know what I mean? Don't be spiritual bypassing and sticking your head in the sand and telling yourself lies and calling it things it's not. I'm just channeling from spirit. Somebody's ancestor wanted to get real, but I love you. I do look forward to another event in the end of April. You know where to find me on all the socials if you are looking, and on my website and such if you're curious about where I'll be sharing things. And I'm here if you need me. You know, I always have a heart for custom work when it comes to oils and candles and genuine, resonant, you know, locally crafted, sustainable, you know, energetically charged tools to help you on your path. So, I love you guys. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll be talking to you soon.